All right, so Bitcoin has continued to move to the downside. Right now, we're kind of consolidating down below this previous range back here. We're sort of sitting in the middle of this very limited market structure that we have here. And I am very interested to see what Bitcoin's next move is going to be. We don't know for sure. We can make assumptions. Like you could say that since we have, come up to the high of this macro range here, we put in bearish divergences. We saw the money flow bleed out. We have now broken market structure, broken this last higher low. You could make the assumption that now we will begin some sort of downtrend that brings us down to at least the lows of this range, potentially lower. You could also say that since we SFP'd this weekly high, this last weekly lower high, that we will now continue this weekly downtrend and, make a run for the lows. We can make assumptions on what Bitcoin is going to do, but we really don't know for sure. So, in my mind, it's better to be prepared for any scenario rather than, just assume one specific thing is going to happen. And so one of the ways I like to prepare for different scenarios is mark out key levels in both directions and basically make plans for if certain things happen. Like if this is going to be the bottom and we start getting a move back to the upside, where are the resistances? What would I want to see to potentially hint towards one of these resistances being a lower high? If we continue getting a move to the downside, what are some support levels that, we could potentially look for bounces from, even if they're temporary? So let's start off with the idea of us putting in a low somewhere, either right here or maybe we come a little bit lower down to this golden pocket and then get a bounce back to the upside. What are some resistances I would be looking at? And I talked about this value area low of this range being a key resistance if we sort of found support somewhere in this area and came back up. I still think that is going to be key resistance. This was a pretty nice support resistance area as well. We found support there. Kind of resistance there. It was a little bit farther down, but you could call this like a little zone. We found support back here as well before we lost it. We also have some NDPOCs in that area now. And if we pull a fib from there, I already have one pulled. If you pull a fib from the highs to the lows, the 382 is in that area as well. The 0.5 is a little bit above the value area low. And also, even looking back to this range back here, if you draw a box around this whole area, this is a nice support resistance flip. We found resistance here, support there, support at the lows of the box, kind of resistance at the highs of the box. If we can get back inside this range, break above the value area low, the golden pocket, the point of control are going to be significant. The 786 is at the value area high, and there are some highs back here that we could SFP. I've been talking about getting a run on these shorts for a while. I'm kind of surprised that it didn't happen before we got to move to the downside. So those are just some areas to think about. I would probably consider this to be more significant, just considering the support resistance flip we've had in this area. And we can even back this up and say that we had a nice support resistance flip on it back here with resistance there, support here, then resistance here. So this is a pretty key zone between like 21,500 and 22,400. I think that's a pretty key zone there. We can also zoom in a little bit and pull a more local fib. I pulled this one from these last highs. Something interesting I noticed with these, if you go to the 30-minute time frame, we have some single prints lining up with that golden pocket pretty nicely. Yeah, right here we got these single prints that will be filled right around that 618, so we could get a little move above them, tap off the golden pocket. And this confuses me a little bit. I thought the red lines were supposed to indicate that single prints hadn't been filled yet, but these ones up here haven't been filled yet because they were formed with this wick, or this candle, I should say, and since then, we haven't come back up there. So I don't know why there's no red lines coming out of these ones or this one up here because they haven't been filled yet. The session didn't end until right here, and we obviously did not come back up to fill those. So yeah, I don't know what's going on with that, but we also have single prints above that golden pocket that, maybe if we come up in between the 786 golden pocket, fill those, could look at that too. But that's more of like a local idea, I'd say. Um, so yeah, pretty much I would be focused on this area. If we keep seeing it move down, like towards this golden pocket, let's see, the fibs will move down a little bit. That 382 would be a little lower, but yeah, I'd still be watching this zone right around here. If we gonna move down to there, actually, this 382 is a nice support resistance flip right here, and right here, and some support right here. So yeah, I mean, it depends on where we bottom out here. If we start seeing it move to the upside, we'll have to adjust our fibs and all that. But that would put the golden pocket right at the point of control. That is interesting. And if we start getting a move to the downside, I've been saying this golden pocket is very key. It is the point of control and value area low of this range. It was also key support in this range. We kind of found resistance down here, so maybe you can expand this zone down to this wick, because we also had, wicks down here for support. But here's the thing, we are sitting in the middle of some inefficient price action, a lot of inefficient price action, I should say. And if we're going to lose this key support here, I mean, I think we could easily come down to like some of these lows, because, we really didn't see a run on these longs before we got the move to the upside. This was pretty much just higher lows. We really didn't see like a sharp move to the downside to stop out longs. And I'm sure there's still a lot of stop losses down here from people that, thought we were going to 30K or higher from this move that did not take profits up here for some reason. So although it would surprise me, I definitely do think it's possible that we just like slice our way through here, even if it takes a little while. If we just, keep getting little drops and never really get a move back to the upside, it would be a little surprising. It would be better if we like found support somewhere, got a, decent move back to the upside and then continued the downtrend. I would prefer something like that, but you got to consider the possibility of us just coming down to fill some of this stuff, maybe even some of this stuff. But we can also look for, levels of support, just in case we end up bouncing somewhere on the way down. And there are some order blocks that I found on the way up. So on the 8-hour, we do have this 8-hour order block right below that golden pocket. I'll hide that box, and I'll actually turn off the VWAP too. So right there, we got this purple candle in between two blue ones. You could even say we had a break in structure here because we had a high, came back down, put in higher low, and then came up to break structure. So it's looking like a decent order block right there. There's another 8-hour order block below it too, so I've got those two marked out. And when you come to the 12-hour, there's also a 12-hour order block right below the 786. So, I'll have those marked out. I'll keep those in mind for if we end up seeing bounces in these areas. And then I also found a weekly order block down at, around those lows. So, you could look for that. I'm sure a move down to here would stop out a lot of longs, maybe not all of them, but, we probably would see some liquidations. But I say that with the understanding that, we also could slice through all of these levels and, basically just get a very quick run on liquidity here. So I would, really want to see something that gives me confidence in a bounce there, like market cipher diverging, money flow diverging, really starting to get a move to the upside as we approach some of these levels. I like these 8-hour order blocks because they are right around that key support I was looking at. So yeah, I'll keep those in mind. I'm not quite sure how I feel about these ones down here because if we're going to lose that value area again, I would be a little bit more confident in us taking out these lows at some point. But as I said, you never know what price it's going to do, so it doesn't hurt to make the plans. And other than that, I've just been trading this local range. I did take one short. I shorted this SFP right here of this high. We saw 12-hour divergences. We saw 3-minute divergences, I believe, and We also saw a decrease of open interest. I gotta refresh this, but yeah, so right here, with this wick, you can see that decrease in open interest there. So, classic SFP, nothing fancy about it. I already took profits on it at the point of control of this range. Since we, SFP'd the highs, I targeted the point of control and then the lows of the range. And, next I may be looking for SFPs of the lows. I got those marked out. And, yeah, really right now I'm just looking to scalp the low time frame ranges and, see if I can't hold a position for a break either direction. We may see some more volatility soon. All right, well, I think that is about it for today. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.